Welcome back to another SDFC Bros video. Carlos, welcome back, mate. You're kind of like doing this USA tour. You were in AZ the other day.
Yeah.
You're in Joshua Tree.
We were in AZ, but now
we
I was
were in AZ,
yeah.
right? Now you're in Joshua Tree. You're doing the whole tour, innit?
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to explore.
Yeah, explore the rest of the map. Or
yeah,
what?
yeah. Pretty much.
How was Joshua Tree?
It was really good. It was really fun. I got to experience watching a home game through the TV, and man, wow! I just continued props to our supporters section, man, because they were loud. Yeah. So,
All right, well,
good game to watch away though.
Nice, very good. You were one with nature and everything.
Yeah,
like
no,
that
definitely, and a lot
Tree?
of drinking.
Oh yeah,
too much.
Well, there you go, guys. But guys, we're gonna do a little bit of a different video. We're gonna talk about the game, of course, versus Vancouver, which was a very good game in my opinion. But we're also gonna talk about kind of the gravity of the situation with SDFC. I feel like there's a lot of kind of unanswered kind of questions
100%.
that we haven't really talked about and really broke down and discussed. And also, we're gonna preview Leagues Cup. So I think that's something that's really exciting. What the first tournament SDFC is going to be a part of. So I think that's going to be super, super good starting next week. So guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at SDFC Bros and on TikTok at SDFC Bros. We're posting bangers everywhere we go. So Carlos, let's just jump right into it, innit?
Let's just go right into it.
Let's just go. So this game versus Vancouver, I was very pessimistic. I was very nervous about going into this game because of not only SDFC's kind of injuries, but also kind of our last couple performances with these last couple games. But I think we held our own weight
100%.
against Vancouver, especially with a lot of our starters out. And I think the main headline for this game was the youngest back line in San Diego FC history. Manu Dua, Ian Pilcher, our boy, Bombino, and Oscar Verhoeven. Average age of 20 years old.
We confirm it's the youngest
Confirmed.
in MLS as well.
Confirmed, 100%.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that is just wild to kind of think that you're asking so much of this young back line who never have played together. These guys have never played with each other than Verhoeven and Bombino, which are on two opposite sides of the pitch. But you're asking the whole back line to just have the communication on point on this one, and we nullified Vancouver. What were you thinking about the whole game?
No, I mean, I think it was just amazing. I think I texted you right away when I saw how young it was. I was like, that's insane. I was like, youngest, I believed it before I even looked
I had to look it up. I was like, I don't know.
No. I was just like, it's got to be the youngest. I don't think I've ever heard of something like it's got to be. And it was just it was really nice seeing them. A little shaky, but I mean, I think one of the biggest things that we talk about is how plug and play this system is. So if you know you're learning, every player is learning their role every single time, and so you're jumping in, and so they understand from the sidelines, and they showed out. And again, I think maybe if this was a team that wasn't growing all the time or wasn't brand new, it'd be a little different because you don't know. But again, like we see day in and day out, everybody's fighting for a starting position. That's what it is. And you can see, like, I mean, we see with our goalie, all of a sudden Cisniega is doing amazing. And CJ Dos Santos just signed an extension with us. Something that we talked about is just this team, everybody's fighting for a starting position.
That's I think one name that's really kind of came into this SDFC roster, Cisniega, bro. This guy is nuts. Big shout out to MLS designated player, one of our first ever podcasts we've done for SDFC Bros. He was gassing up Cisniega. We're like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever, buddy. But hey, man,
no, he was
tip of the hat to you, my friend. You called it and everything like that, and he made that crazy last minute save at the end of the game to keep it at that deadlock, that 1-1. So Cisniega, if you're watching this, tip of the hat to you, my friend. But you mentioned kind of plug and play and everything like that with this whole system, and 100% agree. I think that's been something that's a topic that we've been talking about this whole season. But one player that really plugged and played in this system, there you go. You like that little transition there?
That was great.
Manu Dua.
Yeah,
bro.
wow.
This guy, top player, man.
Yeah.
Like he's showcased probably everything he could do in 90 minutes. His ball playing ability, even though I felt like we were forcing the ball over the top a lot of the times, the ball was pretty damn good. So I feel like when it does, come around, it'll be a really good ball. He was, kind of making like those like late dribbles, kind of like soaking up the pressure and then just turning the gas on, and then all of a sudden, we're maybe like almost through on goal. So what were you thinking about Manu Dua this whole game? I know, we were kind of gassing him up, right? And that's our homie. We've seen him how many times in the stadium?
We've seen him like 3 or 4 times.
That's what I'm saying.
He was, it's funny though, because I think we got to see and know Manu Dua a lot more before other people did. Little did they know that we knew he was a hidden gem. But no, if you see some of our earlier podcast vlogs, you see us talk. Vince is talking to him all the time. Yeah, no, all the time, just telling him how great. Like we were really excited, and thank God he got the rest he needed in reserve, because I mean the moment that he showed up is just like he really showed up to like be one of the, what I'm saying, be a star. And I mean it was just an amazing, like we had seen him I think in the last game against
Chicago?
No, Toronto.
Oh yeah.
He came in for the last few seconds of the game, and just seeing him there, you could just, I don't know, there was just a lively spark in him, and you could see that he was making a really big difference, albeit super late in the game, but you could see it. And so seeing him as a starter again for this game really brought me a lot of excitement, because I was like, well, this is what I saw in that half. Like, let's see if he can do this. And man, oh man, like, I was just amazed just sitting there watching him, and it's just like, it's very rare when you get to see this, but you saw just like, and we've seen it twice with Iloski and now, but I think this one's a little bit more important with Dua, because he's so young.
Right.
You literally see a star being born, or like something special happening, and it wasn't just me. It was you could feel the energy, and he touch the ball, and even the because I got the privilege of being able to actually hear commentators. The commentators were just so like amazed by this performance, and again just back to us and being like, where is San Diego getting these players? You know what I'm saying? How is this system rewarding these young players? Because I think for the first time ever in any MLS league or anything like that, you are seeing young players being played, 1, and 2, showing that the future of soccer and MLS is great. Yeah. And you just need to give them a chance. And San Diego is really, 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 really showing that out. And I think a lot of people are really buying into this like conversations, and we have Bombino, Verhoeven, now Manu Dua in this conversation, and it's just like the quality of soccer in the USA is getting tremendously better.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point, because MLS is always kind of regarded, it's the retirement league, right? Players, from Europe come over just to, call it quits on their career. But I really you make a good point, because San Diego FC, they're kind of, throwing that narrative out the window, where it's like, no, we can play young players, and we can develop these players into top players. And I mean, Manu Dua is one of those players. We drafted him from college, right? In the MLS draft. And I mean, bro, what a gem. What a gem. I mean, I was just so happy with how he was playing, and he kind of showcased everything. And I think one thing that really impressed me was his defensive ability. Yeah. I feel like he made a lot of really huge, crucial tackles to really stop big attacks from Vancouver. And I mean, the number 7 on Vancouver, whoever that is, bro, he was cooking. He was doing so well. It's just these pacey wingers, man. We saw it against Houston, and we see it against Vancouver. That's the SDFC kryptonite. Real talk. 100%. I mean, we always talk about, low block and everything like that. But if you have a really strong, pacey winger, it's going to be a long day. But Manu Dua held his own. And I mean, I was talking on Twitter to Alex Westry. Shout out to him, man. He's like one of the big kind of SDFC, Padres, kind of San Diego sports accounts on Twitter. And we always kind of just go back and forth. And I, threw out just a little idea. Once McNair and McVeigh come back into the defense, right? You have them as your center back pairing. I'd like to see a little double pivot of Yepe and Manu Dua, and then have Luca De La Torre in a more advanced role playing attacking mid, and obviously you have Dreyer Chucky, and then whoever the hell you want on top. That would be sensational.
No, and to your point, I think that adds just a little bit more depth to our, to
like
our
defensive structure,
defensive depth. That's what I meant. Defensive depth. Right. I believe it shows a little more defensive depth, and still. Like Manu Dua is a perfect, because he's quick, he's fast, he wants to be in those positions. Right. So like he can play that defensive very, very and lock people down. But if he needs to go up, which we do so many times, he can be there for those moments. But we'll still play defensively and help out that line so much more. And I think that's something that we're gonna have to definitely start exploring. And I mean, Godoy, shout out to Godoy, amazing player, but he is getting older. And if we're really creating and instilling this Menudo is one of the players that I think is truly signed with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere, guys.
He's not going anywhere.
But like we're building a project with him amazingly. And just back to that point, like we have this, we talked about this in the very beginning of the season. If San Diego gets this right to dream, it is going to be something that is going to be done through and through and through this league. And something that we were scared about, because this is like the older generation. MLS is like, oh, all these old people. But San Diego, for the first time, is showing everybody you're wrong. There is a culture that can be grown here in MLS, and we have the ability to do that. And just wait until next season and the following season when you start hearing about the kids that are homegrown from the Right to Dream. Yeah. We just met one of the kids actually the other day at the Toronto game, and it's just like he's gonna be born and bred to play soccer. It's just that's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing through and through, and MLS is gonna just show up so much more.
Yeah, I think also one thing that's really exciting about it too is being really close to the border,
right?
Tijuana
Exactly.
and everything like that, and really utilizing that talent, across the border. Which you're already seeing Gil Mora, right? Playing for the Mexican national team. He played with with Cholos, right?
Yeah, he plays with Cholos.
Yeah, so it's like,
and he's from Tijuana too.
And there you go. Yeah. So it's like you're already kind of that's the blueprint right there. And if that's someone who can literally make waves in the Mexican national team and start games at 16 years old. Is that, enlighten me, is that the youngest ever player to play for Mexico?
Yeah, he was.
And there you go.
For the first game, yeah.
There you go. So that's just wild to me. And SDFC, if they can capitalize that lightning in a bottle, we got a gold.
No, and I truly think that, I think we're seeing a shift. And I know this is going off topic a little bit, but it does go quick. I think we're seeing a shift in soccer world, and the way things have been. Mm-hmm. And I think we got really stagnant in the Messi, Ronaldo era.
Sure.
And then we were looking really fast. Who's the next? What's this?
There's a Haaland and
Mbappe. Yeah, but who's this? Right. But there still were in the Messi, Ronaldo era, really, realistically. But soccer is shifting so drastically, and these young players are becoming, like, you see it in MLS, you're seeing it in soccer. I don't know in Italian soccer because they don't know what they're doing, but
it's a different story.
No, yeah, but like even in England and the Netherlands and stuff like that, but Spain, like this whole Spanish team, you know what I'm saying, is so young, and for the first time ever, we're seeing these young players having such a stronger ability and trusting in that. And you're gonna see San Diego is just gonna be the lighthouse,
epicenter.
Yeah, the epicenter of that, and it's just gonna blow up in MLS. And you mark my words right now, because of that because of what San Diego's doing, MLS is gonna become a stronger competition through and through, and it's just gonna be amazing to see throughout these years.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Especially when if you're like a young player, you're seeing the talents like Bambino really coming to his own into this team and really making himself a statement that he's a bona fide starter, right?
Right.
At that young of an age, at 19 years old. Same thing with Verhoeven. You're seeing the development of these players. And as a young player, if I'm thinking, okay, would I rather just sit on the bench at some other team or really have like this proper pathway to become a professional player at San Diego FC? It's like,
right,
that's no no-brainer.
And even to your point with that, not only are they just like starting, they are exciting to watch.
Yeah.
These young players now, and I hate to like unk myself, but like literally like they are so exciting. It brings such life into soccer. And I think the drama was always like, oh, these young players, they don't know about like dedication or thing. But like we're seeing with like a Manu Dua or like an Ian Pilcher, Bambino, like they are dedicated to their craft and their love to soccer, and it's just showing more and more.
I think that also has to do with the tribute to the fans as well, right? How big the support for San Diego FC is. And we'll pivot into what you were saying, right? Yeah. When you're watching the game on TV, I've never seen a San Diego FC game, home game, on TV. You had the pleasure of watching it. What was it kind of like to know that, okay, this game is at home, right? And what was kind of just the atmosphere like watching it?
Well, two of the best things were just like knowing that I had season tickets. So I was like, where's my seats? That's one of the first things. But second was just like how clearly the passion in San Diego translates to the TV. Like from like anybody who's just tuning in to watch a home game from San Diego, like, or even away fans who are watching it, you know what I'm saying? Away teams fans who are watching that, the passion in San Diego is so clearly translated onto TV. It's undeniable. Like the commentators, everybody, like even where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? You can hear the Frontera just screaming. Sometimes the commentators are saying something, and you can hear the the chants louder than that.
Right.
You have me singing at Joshua Tree, in the Airbnb, like knowing the chants, and it just for me it's just so amazing to see how great our support is and support for soccer is in San Diego. And how clearly like anybody who just tunes in can see that.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a spectacle going in, and once that whistle blows, once kickoff goes, Frontera doesn't stop. Like they'll do halftime, right? Fuel up and everything like that, and then boom, back to singing and everything like that. So I think it's a big privilege to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, and then we had our first, what's it called too, our second tifo too.
Yeah, that tifo is really good. I really enjoyed that as well. It was just something that really kind of makes you very proud to be a part of this community and be a part of San Diego FC. And it's like, you could talk about politics all you want and everything like that, but it's like I think it's important to kind of make sure and kind of to realize that we're all on the same page here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we're all woven into one.
Right. And I think it was a beautiful message to just show to everybody through and through. I mean, I don't know. It was a good, but
yeah, definitely. No, yeah. So let's kind of wrap this up, put it on a bow. I was really happy with how SDFC played against Vancouver, even though we were just riddled with injuries. The back line stepped up. They did really well. Pablo Cisniega coming up big to make that last-minute save at the end of the match. And overall, I feel like the only thing maybe I really wish we would have, kind of capitalized on, and my friend Carter said this during the game, the lack of forward passing.
Right.
Which that was kind of the only thing. But it's like, look, you kind of look at the situation, first versus second. Vancouver's a top team. They were on it, right, from their passing to their organization to their movements. Everything was just spot on, and I think they came with a game plan. They tried to execute it, but thankfully for San Diego FC, I think the defense really held their own. I know I talk shit on the defense a lot, but this was one of the moments where I was pleased with how they performed. So do you got anything else to add?
I truly agree with you too. I think it was just, I think defense saved us this game, and we played a very more defensive game.
Right.
I think the only thing that I take away is just, again, the lack of, we just get back into that conversation, the lack of a goal scorer,
right.
Or even any like opportunity to score that you just see clear, which is something we're gonna have to keep facing forward without Milan Iloski, and I know we're gonna get into that a lot more later. But just a good performance. You couldn't ask for anything better. Honestly, Vancouver could have truly came in and smacked us. 100%. If our defense wasn't on that game, if we didn't play that game smart, which I think we did, truthfully, Vancouver would have just whipped our ass. I think thank you. Just huge shout out to our number one. I would say like our second to third number one supporter, Ian Pilsner.
Bro, he's one.
Like, I don't, you guys do not understand. Day one, man.
Shit.
Like, little backstory real quick. We did a little meet and greet because we're season ticket holders, and we're walking by, and we say, "Hey, Ian," and he goes, "You guys are the STC bros, right?" Oh my God, first person to really know us. Shout out to Ian, man. I'm glad you got that goal. You deserved it.
Banger.
Banger, by the way.
Banger.
Yeah, bangers only. Like
bangers
you say,
only.
Bangers only. If we're gonna score, it's gonna be a banger only.
So Ian, day one. He's the day one. First player to ever follow our account, so big shout out.
He's seen the vision, and we saw his vision too. And we've seen your work too, man.
Yeah.
Like, you've been putting in a lot of work. You deserve that goal.
100%.
I couldn't ask for a better way to, what's it called? I was a little like low-key teary-eyed when I called Vince.
Yeah, literally on the vlog, I was like, "Oh, Carlos is calling me." And, big. It felt like my son scored.
Right? It was really important. Like, I don't know. He's just been our day one. So just shout out to Ian for scoring that. That goal for me, I think, was as important as Luca Bombino's too.
My gosh, yeah. But it's like not only that, right? It's important to us, but it's like in the kind of shape of like where the table was at, right?
100%.
That was the goal, to keep us in first place.
100%.
To really make a statement for the rest of the league. So huge goal, right? In the gravity of everything. But the gravity that I want to talk about is kind of the situation, right? This is the uncomfortable conversations that you gotta have. And we haven't really talked about it openly like this, like on the podcast, but
people have been asking, by the way.
People have been asking about this and everything like that, and let's just rip it off, Band-Aid.
You'll hear our
Milan
opinions.
Iloski, man. This Milan Iloski situation is probably for me one of the most surprising moments for me as a fan, as a Milan fan and an SDFC fan for me, because it's like there's not a lot of times where your favorite club makes a decision that you do not like. And this, I think, unanimously amongst every single San Diego FC fan, this was a huge mistake. And I mean, look, say how you want, right? We can talk about crying about Iloski this whole season, but I think we do need to move on from Iloski because, look, he may come back, he may not, but it's like I feel like the best thing that we can do right now is move on. But you're starting to see kind of the wounds of Milan Iloski's departure. What have your kind of thoughts been since he's gone?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had lots and lots of conversation about this. I feel like we're going through a real breakup, like a real one. You know, you're disappointed. No? Yeah. You're a little disappointed. You're upset. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm like in acceptance stage. You know, but it was just like really, really surprising, really shocking. I don't think we thought this was happening. Even when Vince was saying like we're gonna have to think of that, I was like, there's just no way. Like he's probably happy here. San Diego's not the worst place to live. Like I mean, you know, but you know, it was just really shocking just to have like in that. And I know we're gonna dive more into it, but just like initial was just really, really.
It came out of nowhere. I think the surprising thing was that they terminated the loan. Like 3 games early, right? Because we would have had him versus Toronto, we would have had him versus Vancouver, and then this next game versus Nashville, and then maybe 1 Leagues Cup game.
Right, but so let's just dive into that. What do you think the reason is for that? Because I have mine, and it's just you don't do that. That doesn't happen naturally.
Yeah, no, I think it was one of those things where I think that Iloski, on really hot form, he's like, all right, I know my value. This is what I bring to the team, and I can see that respectfully. No other player has an impact like me. Pay me my money.
As he should.
As he should, I think it was 100% the right move. And I think SDFC, they're all like, we're going to die on this hill. We don't think that you're worth that much. And, you know, we just maybe think you're going through like a little hot streak right now. But it's like when you kind of look at the impact that he's had this whole season, not even just like, let's say the last 4 games.
No, right.
Let's say the whole season. The goal versus St. Louis that, you know, gave us the equalizer for that one. That, for me, was like one of the big moments where I'm like, okay, maybe Iloski is a top player.
Right.
And maybe we need to keep him.
And I think even in that moment when we saw that, it wasn't even like, oh, this guy's going to be a goal scorer, like 100%. It was, this guy can bring in, when we need him to, he can bring in some magic.
Right.
And then he went and showed us more and more and more. But I think you're right to that. It's like, even if he doesn't score 100 goals or like not 100, but like, you know, 5-6 goals a game or score every game, like the reality is he's a goal scorer and he can and will, and those are important moments to have him. And I think we just to your point, like the club just didn't want to pay for it. And I think it becomes a terminated topic because I don't know if Mikey Vara does this or he doesn't. I don't know who did this. I don't feel like he would, but you know, this is all speculation, everything like that. But to sit there and say, yeah, we're still just not going to play you. I understand the idea of it. I understand it. Like, of course, like maybe it was like a negotiation tactic. You know what I'm saying? But the moment that the man says no, you know what I'm saying? I think as a club, you let off and just say, okay, we're going to play you the last remaining games. We need to still keep a cordial like relationship here. Not say, because I'm sure it got terminated because he's like, okay, well, if you're not going to play me and you're not going to pay me, I'm not going to be here anymore. Right. So that was the agreement. But like, I think out of respect for him and for this club, we should have said, you know what? Yeah, you are only going to be here 3 more games, so we're not signing you, but play out the last 3 games.
Right.
Because the man deserved it, honestly, and he did a lot for this club and brought a lot of fans to this team, and 2 brought a lot of hope and just great memories and times that are going to be talked about for a really long time in this club.
Now I think the $1 million question is, okay, right? As great as Iloski was and as big as a fan favorite was, I think it was a huge disservice that we didn't give him the money that he deserves, quite frankly, because it's like he just fit the system so well. He was a fan favorite, right? Boyhood San Diego native and everything like that. And just everything just lined up maybe a little too perfectly, I think. But it's like at that point, if you're always looking for this DP striker, this whole kind of narrative, I feel like that's been kind of lingering the whole season, right? You're looking for this DP striker and everything like that. respectfully, we had it in front of us.
Right, exactly.
So at that point, I think you just bite the bullet. Maybe you make Iloski the DP. I don't know. Is that crazy to say?
No, it's not. I think you should have done that, and I think a lot of people have that conversation. And then, like you said, I want to know, like, after those 4 goals or what, like, how many people bought a Iloski jersey after that?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I was even thinking about it. Like, literally was like our star player, and I don't. Maybe that's another conversation. Like, are they not willing to pay that much because he's stealing the limelight from other players? I don't want to get into that.
I don't think.
No, I don't want to get into that. Right, but you know what I'm saying? That could always play in. You know, we never know. We're always gonna be left hanging.
Right. Yeah.
It's always gonna be a mystery. But at the end of the day, like you're saying, like they just didn't want to pay, and San Diego loved him so much, and it was just so random that we as a club chose to not go the extra mile for somebody. It's like that J. Cole quote. Like from Love Yours. You know what I'm saying? Okay. There's always going to be a batter on tours. There's always going to be a nicer car.
Is there going to be a batter
that's what I'm saying. Maybe San Diego just thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need you. You know what I'm saying?
I think, honestly, that's not ridiculous to say that there is a batter out there in the market, because truly football is one of those things where you can come with a star instantly. Right. And I think Iloski was, one of those, but I think that it would be naive for us to think that, Iloski is the only answer to our problems. Because truthfully, I think that there are a lot better options. Maybe not better, but options that might suit us better, right? To the point where this team clearly wants to operate on a budget. I think that's the most important thing. And I mean, this kind of reminds me of AC Milan a little bit, where these guys are always, kind of penny pinching. But it's like that's the reality of the situation with Milan and with San Diego FC. It kind of just looks like we're kind of penny pinching, and we're kind of looking at ways to kind of easily cut corners. And I mean, look, one thing that I really don't like is we're constantly loaning players. I think this isn't the way where you're supposed to build upon guys, where when they're on loan, it's like, okay, prove your worth, and then maybe I'll buy you. But then it comes to the point where Iloski proves his worth, overperforms. He's like, all right, y'all got to pay me now. And we're like, nope, no thanks.
Yeah. I think SDFC says it perfectly. I think having a lone player in the situation that it is just a catch-22, where it's just like no good happens from either side. Because loan out a player, you know what I'm saying? He does great. The club says, give me more money. Right. Okay, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford to do that, or they're just going to sell him to somebody else for money. Oh, he plays bad? Okay, well, SDFC doesn't want him. Neither does the club. They just take him back. Right. It's a really, with these loan players, it's a really like catch-22. Nobody wins. Nobody gets anything out of it. Usually when these scenarios happen, and we have 4 of them. Like, at this moment, we have 4 of them. Luca Bambino, I don't know if he stays or not.
You gotta lock him, bro. You gotta.
No, I know we gotta lock him, but I mean, but we just saw this club's not willing to pay that much money, and I'm telling you right now, Luca Bambino is not going to be let go from LAFC's hands that easy, at all. Dude has proven to us, like what a star he is in the making. Like I don't even know why Italy's not looking at him to like. No, I'm just saying, like, for reals. But like, you have a young prospect star who could fit in LAFC perfectly, or be loaned out to any other team and still shine there. And again, like, who knows?
Yeah.
And even in a European team, like Luca Bambino, like, my respect to him. And then who knows with this new signing too, De La Torre. Love the guy for our team. I don't know how much he loves San Diego. Some days I look at him and I don't know if he's happy here nor there. Maybe he showed up to play for San Diego to get more playing time to play in the competition. Was it the Gold Cup?
Yeah.
Maybe that just an advantage. Go back to play in Spain.
Right.
Why would you stay here?
I think the thing for me, I feel like you almost had more certainties with the Iloski staying than De La Torre. I feel like De La Torre is just one of those where it's like, maybe this is just kind of his demeanor and kind of just how he goes about it, but he just looks so like nonchalant. And,
right.
He just kind of just looks like he's just doing his thing, which, of course, it isn't a bad thing, but it's like I feel like the more and more we kind of loan in these players, it's like it just doesn't give me a lot of certainties for the future. Who can we really look to build upon? Because as great as it is having Chucky and as great as it is having Dreyer and all these guys, it's like if this San Diego FC project is really built off of developing youth and really keeping these guys and creating a dynasty like they want to have, you got to keep guys like Bombino. You got to keep guys like Iloski. You got to keep all these guys, which respectfully, a lot of our best players are lone players.
Yeah.
And that's the really thing that's really concerning for a lot of fans going forward. And I think one thing is a big problem is the depth. The depth,
right.
And on top of that, it's our lack of presence in the transfer market. Because now you're letting go guys like Lawfulsend as well, which that was very sudden. I feel like it kind of came out of left field. Even though he wasn't really playing a lot of games, I feel like he's just one of those guys where, he comes off the bench and he kind of just does his job, right? But the lack of presence in the transfer market is very concerning to me, especially if Tyler Heaps is saying that we're not going to sign a DP this summer. Maybe they kind of just look
he's
at
saying
it.
That.
Yeah, he said that. He came out and said we're not signing a DP this summer. So you can totally rule that out and everything like that, which is a huge concern going forward.
That's actually crazy.
Sorry to cut you off, if especially we want to make that push to playoffs and, for MLS Cup.
I kind of see his vision because, like he says, like, oh, we're going to just ride this wave until the end of the season and we'll fight our things. But reality is, like, that the winter or the other transfer market is not as active and not... It's a lot... I feel like it's harder to sign players in those moments. Like, summer is when I know MLS has that burden, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is where we have to take advantage of those, like... it's just random to me to wait till the winter.
Well, it's like also that's the start of the MLS season, and I know there's not a lot of competition in the winter transfer market, which could be an advantage, but it also could be a disservice as well.
Yeah.
So I think, when you're talking about proper roster build, maybe they're just kind of looking at this team and being like, all right, we're going to wait until the winter to kind of really bulk up our team and really prepare for season 2.
You're not wrong on that, and maybe it could also be like maybe nobody expected San Diego to do the best that they did, and we could have just passed with these lone players. But maybe they're sitting here saying, like, you know what? Let's not break a horse that's not needing to, like, break something that doesn't need to be fixed. Let's just put in all our marbles in as much as we can with this. Yeah. And if next year we suffer for it, then next year we suffer, because right now we are on a wave that we don't want to get off of.
Right.
And it might be that we're stuck in the current for a really long time afterwards. But they just probably don't want to get off this wave right now.
See, but then that's what makes no sense, where it's like, okay, you don't want to ride this wave, and then you don't want to sign Iloski on a permanent? That is just kind of crazy.
Yeah, but maybe in their idea, it's just like we have the place to place. But again, you're right. Like, he was part of the wave.
Yeah. So very, very concerning. But one player that has came in, Aiden Harangi.
Yeah.
He comes from Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt, and he's a right back. And that's kind of all we know about him. He's young. He kind of grew up into that U.S. men's national team youth system with Bombino and with Verhoeven. And you're seeing these players that are very young, but they also come from the U.S. men's national team. I think that's also because Mikey Varas used to be the coach of the U.S. men's national team, youth team. So maybe that's kind of just like playing into it as well. But we really don't know a lot about this player. I would say he's kind of just a very offensive, inverted right back. That's kind of just how I see it. So maybe if I were to compare him to like a top player, maybe like a Danny Alves, where like he's able to kind of break those lines and really make a big difference in that regard. But to be completely honest, that's kind of just all we really know about him. Yeah. But kind of makes sense. You let go of Lawfulsend, you bring in this guy, and we'll see. But again, it's a loan.
Right.
That's a problem.
And I think, I don't know, like, I guess I want to get your opinion, because the way I see it is a little separate from, like, it's hard, you know. How do you see this continuing if San Diego doesn't make a change to how they're doing?
Like you're saying with like these loans.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's always that cliche, never fall in love with a loan player. And I don't think that it's smart for San Diego to really make an emphasis on this project of them developing players and everything like that if you're just going to send them out on loan. I don't want to develop players for other teams, right? I don't want to develop Bombino just for our rivals, LAFC, to have one up against us. That's something that's really kind of annoying, and that's one thing where you're kind of just looking at all these loans. Same thing with Verhoeven. He's from San Jose. So it's like, I don't want to develop these guys for other teams when they're just on loan with us, and then, you know, we kind of just give up because we don't want to pay them money. You know, so it just makes no sense. I feel like it's not doing
what do you
us
think
a
happens
service
to
either.
San Diego after that? Like, because the way I see it is just like we have like a boat that's like going, and there's like a hole that pops up, and like yeah, we just try to fix it real quick with a quick solution, but then another hole pops up, and it's like another quick solution, and then the more we know this, these holes keep, the boat is still moving. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but the more holes that happen, the less of a boat we have at this point, and we those holes are only temporary fixes, and what's going to end up happening is we're going to be drowning in the middle of the ocean, struggling to get out.
So I'll say this much: there's a great saying, "Don't make a mountain out of a molehill." And I think right now the only really
I think it's a molehill. I think it's a mountain right now.
I think the reason why we think it's a mountain right now is because of the injuries in this team. Real talk, because you're talking about you're playing Manu Dua at center back, then you're like, oh, where's our depth for center back? Well, we got 2 guys out injured right now. Right. 2 of our starting center backs out injured. You're talking about, oh, Alvarado's injured, who's going to play in the midfield, and then we're like shoehorning like different players in, and then our whole striker situation, we got Ingvartsen out, we got Saidi out, we got so many guys out, and then on top of that, we kind of lost Iloski. So we lost 3 strikers probably in the span of a month or something like that. So it's like, I think injuries this season are the really big part of us kind of looking at, that mountain out of a molehill. So it's like, I think it's something that we shouldn't really look at in the space of like, oh, is this like trouble? I think just this team needs to find some sort of fitness, whatever, because these injuries are getting kind of out of control.
Plus 100 on fitness or what?
Well, we need a little fitness contract in it for the squad fitness.
Yeah, squad
fitness. So yeah, that's kind of just how I see it. It's like, I think more than anything, it's like the fitness and these injuries are really kicking our ass, especially in kind of the tail end of the season, right? Where these are the games that really matter the most. And I mean, look, we dropped points against Houston. We dropped points against Toronto, which those are 2 bottom of the table clubs. Shouldn't be happening. So you're kind of just looking at these, situations and everything like that, and really just judging it based off of that, really. So that's kind of just how I see it. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Carlos, let's go to the next topic.
Right.
Leagues Cup. This is the first competition that San Diego is going to be a part of, and
very
this
exciting.
Is one that is very exciting, I think, for you mainly, just because I feel like Liga MX is like your lane. I feel like this is you. So kind of just walk us through that first game versus Pachuca. How's Pachuca been like this season in Liga MX and everything like that? And then how do you think San Diego FC is going to stack up against them?
Well, I think what's exciting about this competition is that it's different, a lot different than Liga MX in a way where like anybody can take it. And I think a lot of more competition is bred, you know what I'm saying, because of it. Like, I don't think it's really weird when these Mexican teams go and play somewhere like in a competition like this, like whether it be this one or what's the other one that they play in?
The CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Yeah. So like when they go and do this, like wherever you see these teams on the table, it's completely different than what's going to happen in these competitions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and like I said, Liga MX is, I hate to say it, but really corrupt in some ways, this and that. But when you actually get to play in a cup and a tournament like this, you're seeing the best soccer, Mexican soccer, and not in its full corrupt state. And anybody could take it at this point, you know? Not to say that some of these games aren't corrupt or anything like that, but I'm really excited because you get to see truly what I believe from this Leagues Cup that just happened, like 2-3 years ago? Mm-hmm. Start 2-3 years. You get to see the best of the Mexican side and the best of the MLS side. Yeah. And I just really want to see how DFC is willing to go forward. It's really going to be branching us out a lot better, and I think anybody who grows up in Mexico or anything like that understands and knows San Diego. It's a lot easier to relate to these cities like San Diego, LA, than to be like, oh, let me go for Nashville. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people, San Diego has made enough noise that a lot of people are going to be excited to be watching these games or seeing Tigres or Pachuca playing San Diego FC.
So now, obviously, I know nothing about Mexican football. Help me kind of to understand, if you were to compare a team to Pachuca, who would they kind of be like?
In MLS?
No, like I'm saying, like a team that like I would like in the Premier League. Who would you like? Compare?
I mean, they're not as good.
No, but like I'm saying, like in like the table kind of.
Maybe like a, I would say not like I would say maybe like a
West Ham or something.
Yeah, like a West Ham. Like not a shit version of Arsenal, but like Pachuca hasn't won in a while, but they still have. It's just the seasons, like it's really weird because the season takes shape in different ways, and there's 2 legs in each season, which both can win, but you win like a whole Premier League season, you only win once.
Right.
In the year, you can win twice.
Right.
So it's really interesting in Liga MX. But Pachuca isn't a bad team. You know, they're not a team that you would sit there and say they're always going to be the bottom of the table. Tigres, for sure.
Tigres, I know, is very good.
Tigres is probably like in the top 5 conversations.
They still got Gignac?
They do not anymore. I don't think anymore. Tigres is really good. They're probably on top 5 conversations. Okay.
And then Mazatlan, where do you?
Mazatlan, they're a relatively new team.
Interesting.
So we had like the Descenso, which is the first league, second league, but then we got rid of it. Like they said, no, we're not. But in that process, some teams were able to come up and some people weren't, and then they closed them out. Like Cholos, I was part of the second division for the very, very long time, very, very long time. And then like maybe 10 years ago, I would say, they were able to get into first place, and they were lucky enough to stay in there till they got rid of it. But Mazatlan was one of the last ones too that got in there before it, and so they're relatively a new team. They haven't won anything. They haven't really competed for a lot of things. I think it's going to be the easier of the 2 for sure. I think going against Pachuca is not going to be too. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a very close game between us, both of us. Saying that, Tigres is going to be.
That's going to be a tough one.
It's a tough game, but again, we don't know. We don't really know. The Liga MX just started, literally this weekend too, as well as Saturday. So everybody's kind of on the rusty and everything like that. I think. Yeah, Liga MX, they all would have played already one game before they play us in San Diego FC. So
interesting.
We'll see.
So we're playing them right when we're like kind of middle of the season, right? We're kind of seasoned already. Yeah. So okay,
and fair. They just started there, like literally this
coming off of vacation and all that.
On Saturday. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, it's a group stages, so
I think you take W's against Pachuca, and I think you take W's against Mazatlan. I think the Tigres game, that's going to be a tough one. But I think what kind of makes me a little bit more at ease is like what you're saying, right? It's the first kind of, games that they're going to be playing in the season. So that's something that kind of makes me feel better. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
And by the way, no Liga MX team has won
Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
Only MLS teams.
And I believe that even the runner-ups were
MLS teams.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. No, Inter Miami won in 2023 and then 2024. In 2024, Columbus Crew won it. Oh, and both runner-ups, like the Columbus Crew played LAFC.
Damn.
Inter Miami played Nashville.
Damn, like
so,
that.
Yeah.
Damn, MLS is up right now.
Yeah. But so I don't know how serious
they take it.
Liga MX takes it. You know what I'm saying? But it is still going to be an interesting competition regardless.
Yeah, all the Mexican teams
have to travel here.
America, innit?
Yes,
yeah.
So there's no what's it called?
Interesting. No away games.
Yeah, just like that. Wow. So they're very like over traveled,
right?
over what's it called?
Interesting.
So it makes it a lot harder for them. I don't know. I hope
Tigres they play like New York Red Bulls and then they got to fly all the way to SD.
It'll be an interesting thing, but I think San Diego can pull it off. I don't know if we win this or not, but who knows?
I think we got to look at this tournament is just kind of experience, kind of how do we stack up against top opposition from another league, and I think we kind of just roll the dice, maybe gamble a little bit. I'm not really like focused on Leagues Cup right now. I want the MLS. I want the league. I want the league, and that's it.
So do you say how does San Diego FC approach this?
I think obviously you try to win these games. I think you make it out of the group stage to kind of go into the knockout rounds, and I think at the knockout rounds you're playing with house money. So I think you kind of just test your luck a little bit, and if you somehow find your way in the final, cool, fair enough. But then honestly, I'm not stressing if we don't make quarterfinals or anything like that. I think it's just one of those where it's like I feel like I really want to focus on the league right now to really make a statement for the rest of MLS,
right?
Personally, so
it'll be nice.
But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Carlos, I think we're done here, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about next week.
This is probably gonna be the longest podcast.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot we haven't done in 2 weeks, but there's gonna be a lot to talk about next week. We have a lot of Tuesday game, Friday game.
Yeah.
We have a game this Friday.
Yeah.
Then we have a game next Tuesday, Friday, and then another Tuesday. And Chucky Dreyer and Surskov?
Oh yeah, MLS All-Star game.
So who knows too?
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see how interesting it is for San Diego FC, and it's great to see our team is featured in the MLS.
Yeah, that's super cool. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at SDFC Bros. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.